Hi folks, Adrian here from Wargaming for Fun, making a new table in preparation for the upcoming schizo hammer that we do. More on that probably in the podcast. Andy came up with a theme of doing like a Dwarf Hall, so you could use it that it's underground, or you could do it that it's above ground and it's just carved out of stone. And I got these flooring tiles, which are a grey slate effect. They're only cheap. I think they're £2 for 7 from B&M in Britain, but you can get similar products elsewhere. What I did to make it look a bit worn and less shiny is I had some of the anti-shine spray and I went over and sprayed patches of that all over, like dusting of it all over, and then allowed it to pool in certain places. So you can see that it's meant to look like a stone floor that is polished, but it's also in use, so you get areas where the polish wears out. When I basically stuck those to a sheet of MDF. Now, because the MDF had been stored in the garage, there was a bit of moisture in it, which meant that the tiles, there is some movement in the tiles, especially around the edges. You can see where they've curled up, and if I press them, you can see them moving up and down, and you know, some flaps which need pinning down. Now I have pinned some of them down using PVA glue, and where I have, they are stuck proper. You know, they're going nowhere, but I'm about to work on the next little bits, and it's literally just putting a little bit of PVA under there and squashing it down, wiping off the excess glue, and then letting it set. The next thing I'm going to do to disguise the fact that they're tiles is where the tiles join, I'm going to do some gold strips. Now, first thing I'm going to do is try putting 2 strips of masking tape. Now, this is decorator's masking tape, so that it comes off without leaving any residue. It's a bit more expensive, but it saves a lot of cleaning up afterwards. So I'll put a strip either side, and either spray or paint all the lines gold, except for the bit in the middle where I intend to do some circular runes, as if they're dwarven writing. And there is a software program, I say software, there's an internet site you can go on where you can type in the word you want and it comes up automatically with a translation either into the Hobbit glyphs, traditional Old English, or the Lord of the Rings glyphs, the Elven glyphs. So you can type those in, you can have whatever word, and we're probably going to have Wargaming for Fun in the middle. Somehow, I haven't worked that out yet. So this is the first part of the video. I'll stick I'll stick the masking tape on now, and then show you the next bit. Okay folks, what you can see is I've stuck down the masking tape. I've done it by eye because I didn't want it too accurate. I know it sounds silly, but you know, on when you've got a building this scale, you know, when you scale it up, then there are going to be lines which are intended to be parallel but aren't quite parallel, so I have done it by eye. But that said, I've done my best to get them the same. I've gone for roughly a centimetre, 10mm on each one, and then I've done it in a straight strip, and then I've painted using Balthazar gold in between the lines. Now I will be going lengthways as well down the joins, but I haven't done that at the moment because I want, if I did, I would have a bit in the middle that wasn't painted. So by doing it this way, this is hopefully going to work. I've left out the 4 squares in the middle because I intend to put some kind of feature in there. But that's the step. What I'm going to do now is, once this gold has properly dried, it might need another coat because you can see the tile sticking through, or it might be implied that that's dirt on the gold. I haven't decided yet. I'm going to see what it dries like when it's fully dried. But I'm going to go down the edges of the masking tape with a permanent marker, and it's a decent sized permanent marker folks. It's one like that, so that I'm going to get a nice line, probably 2 to 3mm all the way down, so that you'll be able to see it at, you know, a normal distance when you're playing a game on the table. That will make the gold pop then from the tiles underneath, from the slate effect, so it will look like it's been channeled and poured into those troughs. Well, hopefully anyway. So you can see I've used a ruler to mark the thick black lines down the side. Now they are thick, but I don't know how well the camera will pick up. Some of that's on the tape and some of it's on the actual gold. So that's the effect that I'm after. Now I'm going to take that off, but I don't. Oh, go on then, let's try it. See if it starts peeling the tiles. There we go. So you see what I have there. I just stop there for now. Now obviously I'll be able to tidy that up, but that's the effect that I'm after. So that I've got black and gold. Okay. So that the gold looks like it's a channel now into the slate, if you like, the stone floor of my Dwarf Hall. Okay. So I'll get on with that and get back to you in a bit. So I've attached masking tape and painted the length of the table in the gold strips. And the gold strips here I've stopped at because I want that line stopped. And I don't know how well you can see where the marker pen is shown over. I have given it a couple of coats. I don't think you'll notice that when you're like this far away, but it is a bit of a niggle, but you know, I can always give it more coats of paint after. So while I'm waiting for the gold to dry properly, before I put the black marker pen on, what I'm going to do is draw some glyphs in the middle, or some runes. In order to do that, I printed out a shape. Essentially, that's the inner radius, and that's the outer radius. So by doing that, and taking that one away, I've drawn some arcs. I don't know how well they will show up on the camera because I have done them in fake pencil, because essentially I want to rub them out when I've finished. And then what I'm going to do is use some old English runes which were Tolkien used in The Hobbit. So they're freely available, they're not copyrighted or anything. I've done the words Wargaming for fun, and then I've translated each letter into the rune. And these two letters here translate into that rune. So, you know, the most I've got is 5. And then what I intend to do, as I've got 4 words, is in each segment, each tile, is do one of those words in the middle. So all that you will see is the runes, but it will say Wargaming for fun for anybody who's seen this video and knows it, or anybody else who reads old English runes. Okay, so that's the next bit. This is probably the craftiest bit of it, because each of these runes I've got to draw freehand. I've done that to get the height of each letter, so I've got to do those freehand. I'll probably do the middle one first and then one either side all the way around, because there's an odd number. I've got three letter words, so I'll do that and then space those out either side, and then on the 5 letter I'll do that symbol and then work my way out so they're all nice evenly spaced. It's going to take a while, folks. It's going to be boring to watch, but I'll get on with that and then get back to you when I've done it. Okay, what I've done now, folks, is take off all the masking tape that I was using, and despite the fact that I use the more expensive stuff, there are patches where the gold has come off where it went over. Now I would put that down to the fact that I didn't leave the gold paint long enough to set all the way through. So it appeared dry on the top and in places, but it wasn't all the way through, because there are quite a few areas where it's fine. And that is where I put the blue tape on last, so that might be an explanation. It might not, and I am tempted now to varnish over the top of the gold to make sure that it's a bit harder wearing. The letters you can see in the middle, the runes, so you've got Wargaming for fun, and I am going to outline the gold in the same way that I've outlined this gold here, black, to make it pop from the surface. So I'll repair this just by painting the gaps with Balthazar gold, drawing the lines in again using a ruler and a marker pen, and then I'll work my way around those with the marker pen, and then I'll give you another update. So what we have now is the painted table. You can see there that I've been around the edges to make the gold pop out, and the shiny bits around is drying varnish. I've painted some varnish over the top. Well, actually I sprayed some purity seal over the top of the paint to make it a bit harder wearing during gameplay. So hopefully that will survive. It's hard to tell what it'll look like until the varnish dries, but you get the idea, folks. I hope you found this useful, folks, and I look forward to using this on some of our upcoming games. Catch you again soon.